Alright guys, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. Why did I put up these two polls about funding challenges? These two funding challenges I put up on my channel got a lot of responses, and it's an interesting little thing that I want to talk about when it comes to funding. Now, I just want to start this off by saying I'm not anti-funding. I just think that you need to know a little bit more about funding challenges and trying to get funded before you just go throwing big amounts of money on trying to get into a big trading account. I've made videos on this in the past, but I think you need to be profitable and consistently profitable before you even try and get funded. It seems obvious, but most traders do not wait. They don't get a year of trading behind them before trying to get funded. They get like a week behind them and then they try and get funded. So, you know, take it from me, it's not worth just jumping into these until you have profitability behind you. But I asked people just to see the common perspective on funding challenges, and I think that this is actually very telling. These two polls are actually very much the same funding challenge with a varying result in yes or no. So what I did is I asked people, would you take this funding challenge? And I gave all the credentials, and I said, would you take this funding challenge? And I gave all the credentials. Let's look at the first one, which got about a 50-50 split. Actually, just slightly more people said I would not take this challenge. Let's look at this. So, okay. Would you take this funding challenge? I said the price is $550. Challenge fee, you know, if you're familiar with how prop firms work, you already know this, but most challenge fees are, you know, you pay for a certain chance, essentially, or an examination to prove whether or not you are profitable enough to trade their money. Now, the amount for the account size of $10,000, not anything bigger than this, just $10,000. The trading period is 30 days. The minimum trading day, 10 days, maximum daily loss is $5,000 or a 50% loss. So this is a pretty large amount compared to the average one, but you get 50% max daily loss. And then with maximum loss, you get 100% drawdown. So essentially you're trading this account completely with full margin. In this case, by the way, you would have about 1,000 to 1 margin. I forgot to mention that in the thing, but obviously it's pretty intuitive. You would need a lot of margin in order to trade this aggressively, right? With 50% loss in a day or 100% loss, and with a profit target of doubling the account in 1 month. This sounds crazy, right? It sounds like I would probably not take this. I wouldn't take this because look, paying $550 to take this. If I lose this account, if I mess up, if I had one bagged streak or, you know, one trade went wrong, I lose my $550. And even if I'm correct, if I have great trades and I do really, really well for the month of my examination within the 30 days, I only get a $10,000 account. But stay tuned on this, because my point with doing this is showing you guys, and many people saw this in the comments, they understood what I was getting at. The point is, funding challenges, they offer you $100,000. So when we look at funding challenge idea number 2, this is actually the same concept. I copied and pasted these. What? And just changed the percentages and numbers slightly, even though they are the exact same account access. So when you pay for a $100,000 account challenge on a funding broker, a funding prop firm, right? You pay $550 because you say, hey, I could get access to $100,000 in capital. But what they don't tell you, and this is why the advertising is conveniently not done this way, but rather done this way, what they tell you is you get $100,000 if you can pass this 30-day examination. You also get the refund on the price, which is, you know, that's awesome. But the minimum trading days, it's all the same stuff. Still a $5,000 loss, 5%. Maximum loss is $10,000 or 10%, and the profit target is 10%. This sounds much more reasonable, and then they give you much less leverage, okay? This is the same thing. So people said yes to this, and this is what's offered on many major prop firms, right? They say yes to this, but they say no to this, but they're the same thing, right? Just advertised differently. People see, hey, I could trade with $100,000. That sounds really exciting, but much less leverage. Or we'll give you $10,000 and you can leverage that thing up as much as you want. They're the same concept. These are literally copied and pasted rules, just change the numbers around with different margin requirements or different margins allowed, right? So on this one, you get much higher leverage. This one, you get much lower leverage. Leverage by itself can be abused or used correctly. It doesn't matter. You know, your position sizing is up to you. The point is, right, the perspective of what is sold in funding challenges is this idea where you're like, okay, I'm going to go for $100,000 account. That sounds really, really cool. But they bar you up with some really tight rules on risk management, which, yes, to some degree is good. But the point is, would you really truly buy a $100,000 account that really can only be traded like a $10,000 account for $550? And your answer is no, because that's what the average poll response is. I mean, not your answer, I should say. The average response is actually no to this account style. But that's what's really being sold in this account style where people say yes to. I hope you get what I'm going at. I'm just trying to make you guys aware they're not all bad, but you need to understand that if you're going to go for funding challenges, you're not actually going to be trading $100,000 per se. You're really going to be trading $100,000 with really tight rules that actually is more like this one, right? So this account style, where you really just have access, free will to do what you want with $10,000, is really what you're paying for that price of $550, which again, when comparing the results of consumers, they said no way on this one, and they said yes on this one. Same things, just phrased differently, right? You guys see the point? The thing is, with prop firms, they're not bad, but you need to understand what you're actually paying for. This is deceiving almost, where it's like, hey, this looks really awesome, but you're super limited even when you do get funded. And once you do get funded, it's like, okay, you only actually get 10% of that account to draw down, which is very possible to hit a 10% drawdown, especially if you're trying to actually make decent gains off of an account. 10% is going to happen, right? Of course, if you're trading super slow, you could probably avoid a 10% drawdown. Like if you're trading with like 0.1 percentage per trade, then yeah. But then you're basically trading this account. And again, this is my point, is like, if you trade this account like it's really they want you to really trade it, you're really trading more like this account, which is fine. But ask yourself, is a $10,000 account access that I can pay $550 for a chance to get access to, and I can still lose it later, is that worth the price? For me, I would say no. And this is, again, the difference between this. Now we can go through some comments just for fun here. Just to see, there's a lot of comments on this. If you guys haven't already gone through here, I would encourage you to go look at that. The comments are great. When you take a $100,000 test, you must remember that you actually only have $10K to lose, or $5,000. But remembering that will help with your patience towards trade setups along the way. So yes, this is the point. I think if you're wanting to get funded, as long as you know this stuff, that when you get a 100K account, you're really getting a 10K account that you can trade how you'd like, it's important, right? When you get a 100K account, that sounds amazing. You're really just getting a 10K account, which is still good money, but it's not nearly what was advertised or how it kind of sounds when you're first getting in. That's where I think, you sort of have to be careful with this stuff, because again, it's advertised in a manner that makes it more attractive. This is a business for people. They're trying to make things sound exciting, right? That's their goal, is, come trade a 100K account. Just remember, it's really a 10K account with no limits, or a 100K account with very tight limits. Those are your ways of thinking about it. So people understood in the comments. A lot of people caught on to what I was trying to get at. This is an important thing to just understand. I'm understanding that people are going to disagree with me on this. Prop firms are a very heated discussion. I'm not anti-prop firm. I've said this many times. I just think that before you go spend a lot of your money trying to get funded and say, hey, it's just $550 for the chance to trade 100K, you just need to know what you're buying. You're not really buying a 100K account access. You're really paying for a chance to get access to a 10K account, which is a much less attractive marketing tactic, and that's why they use the higher amount on the purchasing page. And then really the rules are, okay, you trade that huge account, but with very tight rules, right? So, yeah. Yep. So this is just something to think about. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'd be curious to see. Again, this always spikes some interesting conversation. I just am here to try and make sure that you're aware of what you're trying to pay for before you jump in. As prop firms, they advertise something and it can be very good for the right traders who have the results, but can also be very costly to people who are trying to figure this stuff out and getting themselves way in too far, way too soon. My rule with prop firms personally is like, if you're gonna do them, my opinion is, make sure you have a year plus of recorded track record data on yourself before you go try and pay for a prop firm to get funded. Take your time with this stuff. There's no need to rush and get funded. Many traders, again, like I said, they spend a lot of money, thousands of dollars trying to get funded, only to realize that once they have the account, they don't even know how to trade profitably and consistently enough to keep the account. It's a big thing to really make sure you've done your homework on this stuff and understand what you're paying for, whether you have the results to even trade the account that you get access to, and so many more things need to be considered. So thank you for watching. See you next time. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.